Oh dear me, you're getting a real stream of consciousness with this one here, Si. Alright there, you little demons, Jules here for WhatCulture.com, back again with another episode of the awesomely named and awfully hosted Choose Your Own Adventure, the weekly medieval themed format where I, the crown Jules of WhatCulture.com, take a list chosen by you, yes you, the person who is getting ready for Halloween. I know that it's technically a little bit off right now, but we should be gearing up towards our spooktacular Halloween spectacular. I did say about putting the words spooktacular and spectacular in the same sentence, and they just completely ignored me. Now,
I'm actually going to have to stop Jules here. This is the part where he was going to ask for your suggestions for our spooktacular spectacular, but I've already gone ahead and done that in last week's episode. I did a pinned comment. We've picked the suggestion. We're already working on it. That is crossed wires communication-wise, and my bad. It's my over-organisation, as always. Ooh, over-organisation.
Yes, you get to decide what list I dole out to you each and every week, and this week we have none other to thank than Kay Collier for their suggestion of iconic moments in gaming. And it got us thinking over here, what are the truly memorable moments of this medium that we so adore? And could we put them into a list? How could we narrow them all down? Well, somehow we bloody only well gone and did it, didn't we? Because gaming may be an incredibly young art form when compared to the likes of music, books, movies and TV, but it's already amassed an incredibly rich and storied history over its comparatively brief 6 decades in operation. So therefore what we've done today is collate the best of the very best and presented them to you lovely people at home in this tidy little list. So let's have a chat. As I'm Jules, this is WhatCulture.com, and these are 8 iconic moments from each era of gaming. Number 8, PacMan turns the tables. Okay, let's kick things off like we're in the season 2 premiere of Gunny and the Man. It's coming, don't worry about it. And talk about one of the most enduring and recognisable video games, and say it with me kids, of all time, PacMan. Now the game's mere release is one hell of an iconic moment, but in terms of gameplay mechanics, it's the introduction of the power pellets which elevated PacMan from brilliant to an all-timer. The legendary maze game flipped the script with the inclusion of power pellets, which, if munched on by the player, allowed you to turn the tables, giving you the ability to devour the pursuing ghosts instead and send them back to the centre of the level. It was tremendously satisfying to say the least, and after all of the issues that these goddamn ghosts are being given you, it was very fun to just be like, right mate, I've had enough, you've pushed me into the corner right now, and now you're going to witness my dark side. That's me powering up, not ejaculating. Super Saiyan hair. Emo fringe on the side. That weird S thing that everyone drew on the school desks there. And funeral for a friend playing in the background. You messed with the wrong guy. I'm gonna be on our cringe soon. Yeah. Whew, scared myself there. But of course there is a degree of strategy to knowing when to use the limited number of pellets for maximum effectiveness. You don't want to go in all there just like smashing them straight away and just yelling your big pitch, what's up man? But you could end up with nothing and then you'd be running around for the rest of the level. That's bad. Tactical, that's what you need to be in this game. Amusingly, the very idea of power pellets was reportedly inspired by Popeye the Sailor and the superhuman transformation that he undergoes after chugging a can of spinach. But in place of spinach, which is good for the body, even in its weird, gross, wet, canned form, ooh, I think that's up there with wet bread that I actually, just thinking about it's actually made me like rising a bit in my stomach. Don't like. Instead of that, we talk about munching pills and then smashing people in the face. Read into that what you will. Number 7, Samus removes her helmet. Metroid. Now, thankfully, video games have come far enough that, whoa, that badass is actually a woman, is no longer a plot twist. But all the same, there's little denying the triumphant climactic reveal that Metroid's alien-wrecking protagonist is, in fact, a bloody woman. That was all of the blokes at the time. Now, in several of the game's endings, Samus Aran will remove their helmet to reveal that they are, yes, a woman, which, per regrettable gender norms of ass-kicking video game protagonists in the 1980s, made it a huge shock for players. Given that Metroid was heavily influenced by Ridley Scott's film Alien, it certainly tracks that the action hero would also be a female. And over 4 decades later, it's probably fair to say that Samus is every bit the statuesque sci-fi heroine that Sigourney Weaver's Ellen Ripley is. But this is the thing, the forward-thinking nature of the reveal, for the time at least, is undercut slightly, however, by the additional ending which shows Samus in her bikini. All the same, Samus nevertheless broke down barriers for gaming heroines and broadened players' horizons of what a digital action hero could look like. Number 6, the Cyberdemon makes its debut. Doom. Now, Doom is one of the most influential video games, and say it with me, kids,
of all time.
Got you to say it, I'm not going to say it, ever made. Helping popularise the and then I choke. Helping popularise the first-person shooter alongside its predecessor, Wolfenstein 3D. And there is one moment in particular that stands out as emblematic of the entire era of shooters, even more actually memorable than Mecha Hitler from Wolfenstein. It's the first appearance of that almighty Cyberdemon. Now, the Cyberdemon first shows up in the level E2M8 and is the game's most powerful enemy, a Minotaur-esque beast whose huge stature and loud roar immediately left an entire generation of players clenching their wee buttocks. I mean, it's one of those big pitch, yo, what up, big pitch moments where you basically got to just say to yourself, do I have the gumption? I've got the guns, I've got the umption, let's fuse them together and let's take this thing on. And that's without even getting into the creature's cybernetic leg and rocket launcher for an arm, ensuring that the Cyberdemon was an oppressive enemy in all the right ways. His sudden appearance instantly striking fear into pretty much all of us. And to rub salt in the wound, developers id Software chose to exclude the Cyberdemon from the Rogues Gallery in Doom's instruction manual, ensuring that it was a surprise, a genuine pant-filling shocker when it first appeared. God, I miss video game instruction manuals. In fact, I remember, what was it we were reading the other day? There was like, in Retro Gamer, which our company who owns What Culture, Future Publishing, also owns, they were giving me access to like some of the archive stuff, and I just remember reading through them and just being like, oh man, they've taken like screenshots from all of these instruction manuals, and one of them was for, what was it called? It was a Tiny Toons game where you played as Buster Bunny, and it was a screenshot, a photo, other people call it, of the instruction manual, and it had the code printed on it for the last level. So if you read the instruction manual, you got a cheat to go to the end of the game. Brilliant. Number 5, the Death of Arathi, Final Fantasy VII. Is there any more devastatingly iconic moment in the history of video games than the death of Arathi in the original Final Fantasy VII? I'll wait, no? After players spent a few dozen hours being thoroughly charmed by this flower girl with far more to her than meets the eye, it is a cutting cruelty, literally in this case, to see her run through by the villain Sephiroth. It's a genuinely shocking death, one that sucks the air out of any room the game is played in, and yet it energizes the player to fight through their now red-hot tears and give Sephiroth a well-deserved stomping. But it's the more delicate choices that made Arath's death so memorable. The gorgeously directed cutscene in which Cloud places her into the livestream, for instance, that is beautiful. While the wishy-washy treatment of Arath's demise in the Final Fantasy VII Remake project have proven seriously divisive with fans, the original scene, while it left an entire generation of gamers just shook to their core while proving what heights video games could reach in the hands of incredible artists. Number 4, Lance Vance's betrayal, Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Now, the 6th generation of gaming is a favourite for many players, and so picking just one epoch-defining moment just, well, it bloody wasn't easy, let me tell you. But you know what, given the tectonic impact that Grand Theft Auto has had on gaming and pop culture as a whole, could any other franchise really take this spot? And though the series has had its fair share of unforgettable, jaw-dropping moments over the years, has any of them made our collective blood boil quite like Lance Vance's heel turn in GTA Vice City? Vance was the Tubbs to our Crockett in Vice City's Miami Vice-inspired world, and though his bromantic chemistry with protagonist Tommy Vercetti resulted in many of the early game's most memorable moments, it paled in comparison to Lance's betrayal of Tommy in the final story mission, Keep Your Friends Close. Lance sells you out to better his own interests, a genuinely shocking reveal that leads to quite the satisfying payoff when you get to, utterly ventilate him with your bullets on the roof of your very lush mansion. No more dancing for Lance Vance indeed. Number 3, Sarah's death. The Last of Us. Now, The Last of Us is quite arguably the game of the PS360 era, and Naughty Dog ensured that they had players locked in right from the get-go with its deeply visceral, utterly heart-rending prologue sequence. It kicks off in 2013 as the cordyceps fungus ravages the United States, and the game's 15-minute opening section depicts the early stages of the outbreak in nerve-rattlingly chaotic fashion. But far from a mere action-packed rollercoaster ride, the efforts of protagonist Joel and his family to flee the mayhem have a devastating climax. Joel's young daughter Sarah is shot by a twitchy soldier and she dies in her father's arms. It was a mesmerizing statement of intent from Naughty Dog, furthering their mission to deliver peerlessly cinematic and richly emotional storytelling, which in this case led to the foundation of Joel's arc throughout the rest of the game and indeed its sequel. Without such a punchy opening, there's no guarantee that The Last of Us would have sunk its hooks in players quite as well as it did. Hell, it proved iconic and note-perfect enough that the recent TV adaptation translated it to the screen incredibly faithfully. And TV loves to mess with things to do with video game properties. Have you seen the Borderlands movie? No, of course you haven't, because you have common sense. Number 2, Kratos gets the Blades of Chaos, God of War 2018. Now, God of War 2018 was a masterful reinvention of the acclaimed action franchise that stayed true to its penchant to brutal violence while also offering up deeper gameplay and a more nuanced presentation of protagonist Kratos, but it delivered one of the all-time great slivers of gaming fan service when, later on in the game, Kratos returns to his homestead and retrieves his signature weapons, the Blades of Chaos, which have been curiously absent up to this point. One can only imagine that he used them to cut cucumbers that he harvested from his land. Ah, yes, hello, my son, hello, my wife. I shall prepare the salad. I will be back soon when I've made a new table. Apologies, watch out, you'll get splinters. Now, Kratos wields the Leviathan axe for most of the game, but when he needs to visit Helheim to save his son, he also requires a weapon with a bit more of a fiery kid, a bit more of a picante weapon, and he gets one quite literally. The moment where Kratos retrieves the blades from the hiding place and Bear McCreary's subliminally haunting score kicks in, it's just pure "this is why I play video games" moment. It's just so good. Naturally, you're swiftly presented with an opportunity to use the blades as well out on some goons that just happen to be outside, and they really did not get the message. It's like, lads, are you sure that we should be attacking this guy? He does seem to have killed all of our friends, and all we have are some sticks with flint tied on. We're like the starting bit of a game of Civilization, and he's endgame. He's at FTL, and we are just effed if we go there. No, you're already walking. Okay. Oh, he's broken his table though. Bit awkward. And also, by using these blades, you pop the aptly named trophy, Hello Old Friend. Now, though fan service can often feel desperate and pandering, this was a perfectly executed nod back towards the franchise's past that felt entirely earned and was placed in just the right point of the game at just the right moment. And number 1, we sing Alan Wake 2. And finally, though there are many who feel that the current generation of gaming is the most beige and character devoid of the lot, trust Sam Lake and the fine folk at Remedy Entertainment to come along and slap us in the face, big pitch style, with a wet, singing scary fish. We're talking, of course, about Alan Wake 2 and its 20-minute musical recap of the first game's story, where Alan and the player are forced to sit through an elaborate live-action musical song and dance scored by in-universe metal band The Old Gods of Asgard. Does that sound weird? Because it bloody well is. What follows is a mini-rock opera that increasingly descends into chaos and, eventually, combat, serving as the ultimate realization of Lake's ambitions to fuse the world of video games and cinema. Just when you think it's going to end, it just keeps on going. And though something so fundamentally daft could have easily backfired in a dead atmospheric survival horror romp like this, it only left players even more bewildered and unsure of what to expect for the remainder of the game. In an era where there are so many glossy AAA games that are, what do we describe them as? Competent but creatively uninspired, Alan Wake 2's delirious tribute to letting your freak flag fly is the moment that just has to be beaten this generation. Name me something more memorable. And I'm including Space Marine 2 in this list. When Calgar comes out the bloody thing and goes like, "What's up? I got big fists and an attitude." I rate that as one of my all-time gaming moments ever. And still this beats it. And there we go, my friends. Those were 8 iconic moments from each era of gaming. I hope that you enjoyed that, and let me know what you thought about it down in the comment section below. As always, I've been Jules. You can go follow me over on the social medias here, and you can follow my lovely and wonderfully patient editor, Sai, over on her social medias over here. But I want to talk about one other thing that is truly iconic, my friends, and that is you. Yes, you watching this video. I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for the support that you show the channel and this series in particular. I love it every single week that we get to come here, do this, have a laugh, and see so many wonderful comments and great interactions in the community that we have here. So I want you to take that positive energy today and apply it to yourself. Just treat yourself well. Treat yourself with that love and respect that you bloody well deserved, all right? Because you're the fucking best. You're a big ledge. You big pidge! But most importantly of all, you deserve it. You deserve the best things in life, like love, happiness, and success. I say it all the time, because I truly mean it, okay? So take care of yourself, and, more importantly, be kind to yourself as well. As always, I've been Jules, you have been awesome, never forget that, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.